Hey, so today is Tuesday the 20th. I almost said the 22nd, but the 20th of September. The two Monday night games were yesterday, and so I want to go ahead and talk about them. So first off was Titans-Bills. First off, man, just prayers up to Dane Jackson. I saw that hit he took. That looked fucking scary. There was an ambulance that had to cart him away. From what I understand, because I looked into it this morning, he has been released from the hospital. Sounds like he has avoided a major injury. I hope he recovers. I hope he gets... I just hope he does well, man. I've said it before. I'll say it every time I see a major injury. I don't want to see that happen to a guy. But so, getting into the actual game itself, the best way to explain what happened in this game is... Have y'all seen the start of Disney's Hercules movie? The scene with, like, the muses, they're doing their song, the Gospel Truth is what I think it's called. So there's a line in that when they're talking about how the Titans got imprisoned. They're talking about Zeus, like, and then along came Zeus, he hurled his thunderbolt. That was what this game was. Josh Allen was Zeus, Stephon Diggs and their smothering defense were the Thunderbolts, because they fucked the Titans up. It was, 41-7, I think, was the final score. Josh Allen didn't even play at all in the fourth quarter because they were up so much. And it's almost kind of wild how seeing all the crazy comebacks that happened this week. You had what the Dolphins did in the fourth quarter. You had what the Cardinals did in the second half. You had what the Jets did in the last 2 minutes. And the Titans could do none of that. They got destroyed. It's like they got their souls ripped out. They didn't just get their asses kicked. The Bills just sent them to the Shadow Realm, man. Again, it's only 2 weeks. You lose one game on a missed second, or like a last second missed field goal. And then you play the Bills, who are arguably the best team in football. It's not like the Titans are in dire straits. They're only one game out of first place. And it's really weird that Jacksonville is in sole possession of first place in the AFC South. They're not out of it by any means, but the early prognosis doesn't look great. I think the AFC South is going to be a very tight division because I feel like it's going to be one of those divisions where no one really pulls away. Because I know there have been seasons where like an 8-8 team or worse will go to the playoffs. That might be what happens in the AFC South, unless someone is able to be like, wait, I have an idea, let's not suck, and that is actually a really good team. Is there anything else that happened of note in this game? The only other thing I have is that Malik Willis did appear in relief of Ryan Tannehill once the game was out of reach. But from the few plays I saw, and from what I heard people say online, because I was mostly watching the Vikings-Eagles game, it doesn't sound like he really did much of anything. And, like, not that he was bad. It was what I saw. They're just having him hand the ball off. Come on, guys. Like, have him do something. Like, if you're getting him in there because the game is out of reach, that means you have nothing to lose. You might as well throw it deep. Not every play, but, all right, have him hand the ball off. Have him do some designed runs. Have him, like, actually do some good throws. And maybe that did happen in some of the plays I didn't watch, but from the little bit I saw, it's not that he was unimpressive. It was just they didn't really have him do anything, so there wasn't much to judge. But the Bills, man, that's 2 weeks in a row. They've beaten the defending champs and last season's number one seed in the AFC. And I don't remember if they're hosting Miami next week or if they're going to Miami next week. So that's their first division game. I mean, spoiler alert, I'm going to pick the Bills to win. No disrespect to Miami. Miami looked fucking phenomenal last week in that fourth quarter, but Buffalo just looks on a whole different level from the entire league right now. So moving on to Vikings-Eagles. So this was a game where I picked the Vikings to win, and I was completely wrong. They lost 24-7, and my favorite part of the game was the Eagles were up 24-7, which, was the final score. And I was like, man, this game is on pace for another 38-7 Eagles win. I kind of want to see it happen just for the shits and giggles. And then the Eagles line up to kick a field goal. I'm like, oh, well, if you're getting a field goal, you're going to be up 27, which means you're probably not going to be able to get to 38. You can maybe get to 37, but I guess it's not going to happen. And then the kick got blocked. I was like, oh my goodness, they stopped the field goal. Yes, we're still on pace. No, the Vikings are going to return it for a touchdown. No, if they get the touchdown, I can't get 38-7. But then they were, they got stopped in the return, so it was an almost kick six, but they couldn't quite do what Seattle did. And I'm like, all right, well, if they get it, like, they're inside the 30, if not a little closer, so like, oh, okay, they're probably going to score. Might get a touchdown, which, bye-bye 38-7. If they get a field goal, bye-bye 38-7. And then, right on cue, man, primetime Kirk just throws an interception, and I was like, we're still on pace, baby, although I never got the score I wanted. But I picked the Vikings to win, because, like, all right, that Eagles defense gave up 35 to the Lions. They're about to go against Justin Jefferson, who was having his way with the Packers, who are supposed to have a good defense. Vikings are going to be scary, man. They got a new coach who seems to actually like offense, believe in Kirk Cousins. They are going to roll in this game. But there was this little voice in the back of my head that's like, JJN, hold up, though. Prime time Kirk Cousins. Are you still going to pick the Vikings? I'm like, you know what? I am. This might be the season where he gets like that monkey off his back. If he's got a coach that really believes in him, this might be the season that does it. One game in, at least one primetime game in, that is certainly not what happened. Primetime Kirk Cousins showed up and showed out. He wasn't targeting Jefferson or Thielen. He was targeting Darius Slay. Slay balled out, man. That entire Eagles defense balled out. Which I look at that and I'm like, okay, if they played this well against this well against the Vikings, how good are the Lions to be able to have scored 35 on these guys? Holy crap. Let's see. I know I have some other stuff I wanted to share. I talked about the kicks. I'm sorry. Like I said in the last video, I love seeing shit like that. It just makes me happy. Okay, so one thing I noticed, which this is kind of be transitioning to talk about the Eagles' offense as well, both Jalen Hurts and Kirk Cousins were making throws into really tight windows. When Kirk was doing it, it was usually an interception or a near interception. When Jalen Hurts was doing it, they were almost always completions. He had one interception, and it's because it bounced off his receiver's hands. Like, was it a great throw? Probably not, but it was still very catchable, so it's not really his fault. He has balled out these last two games. You can look at that and go like, all right, that's a lot of throws into tight coverage. Probably some of those should have been intercepted. Maybe like one or two. He's lucky. But if you're lucky that consistently in your throws, that's when I'm like, I don't know, man. I think he might just be that good. Now, maybe it was just he was having a good day. The Vikings couldn't really do anything to stop him. But 2 games in, it's kind of like what happened with Tua. I'm like, I am starting to become like, all right, Jalen Hurts might got this thing. Now, again, it's only week 2. It's a long season. But the early prognosis for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles is good. Philly looks really good right now. My big worry for them, though, is I think it was last week against the Vikings. I don't think they scored it all in the fourth quarter. They were just kind of like, yeah, we're up. We don't really need to do anything. And the Lions almost came back and won. This week, they did not score in the second half at all. Now, they did play very just kind of low-key. Like, they weren't as aggressive as they were in the first half because, like, all right, with our defense, we really don't have to be. Let's just make sure we don't turn the ball over and give the Vikings a chance to come back. You know what I mean? But with all the crazy shit that happened yesterday, in the NFL, you can't just rest on your laurels in a game. You can't be like, all right, we're up 3 scores in the second half. We're up 3 scores in the fourth quarter. We're going to be fine. Ask the Ravens. Ask the Falcons almost any time they play. You could ask the Rams. They almost choked a 28-3 lead them damn selves. That's the only thing. I feel like if Philly can fix their second half, or specifically their fourth quarter offense, I think they're going to be a really good and scary team. I think they're playing Washington next week, and like I'll do my video on my predictions, but like I'm going to pick Philly to win. I feel like they just look like the better team right now. But it is going to be a division game on the road, which aren't always easy. And if they can't score in the fourth quarter, I'm going to get kind of worried about them, especially with the resiliency Washington showed last week. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I haven't done the Saints video yet. I have as you can tell, I just kind of have notes written down for the games I want to talk about. But since the Saints game is a game that I, really watched and was personally invested in, I have a whole script written out. So I'm probably going to be a lot less animated when I'm talking about that one. It's probably going to sound a lot more robotic because I'm going to be reading my script. But I want to make sure I get my thoughts and analysis on that game specifically, as... I don't want to phrase this. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's all for this one. I'll see you in the Saints video probably sometime this afternoon. Bye.